I'm going to do a basic clone job here. I'm going to edit the flag out. First thing I'm going to do is make a duplicate copy of the background. So that I hit Control J on a Mac, Command J on a Mac. I think it's Control J on a PC. Make sure our clone stamp is selected, and I have opacity at 54. You can play around with this. Usually when I'm cloning something small like this, I keep the opacity a little bit lower. I'll show you how to clone out my house over here on the left-hand side. I would usually use a higher opacity. You can just play around with it a little bit. I use a soft brush. It was automatically selected there from before. Zoom into the flag, and you want to hit Alt, click your mouse, and that's where it will select a point to copy from, and then you just kind of paint it over where you want it. Now sometimes you can just keep going down, but as you can see, it is starting to make a little duplicate of, right next to it, and you don't really want that. You want to try to avoid obvious patterns, so select from another area and just kind of play around selecting different areas. And as we get closer to the basket, that's where it's going to become a little bit more tricky. So let's get down there. You can make your brush bigger and smaller. I use my bracket keys. You can also go up here and slide the size up and down there. But the bracket keys on your keyboard are kind of like a shortcut, and it makes it a little quicker, I think. So that's just what I do. Make it a little smaller as we get down. Just select different areas nearby. Okay, we're getting down here to the basket. So what I'm going to do is clone a nice sharp edge of the basket and move it over. And because I have my opacity at 51%, I do need to click it a couple times. That's okay, I don't mind doing that. I can kind of watch for errors in the location. And let's see, make it a little smaller as we get over here to the nitty-gritty. Just line up right there, and that's pretty good. Let me finish off these areas of the flag over here. And there we go. I think that's pretty good. You can back it up, make sure there's no obvious patterns. I don't really see any. So let me show you how to clone out the house. And for this, it's less intricate work here. It's pretty easy. I can put this up to, I don't know, 84, whatever, a little higher, so there's less stamping involved. And just clone, select where you want to, just kind of nearby. Again, try to avoid obvious patterns, and there you go. So here's the before, here's the after. Say if you decided, you know what, I think I'm going to leave the flag there, but I don't want to erase any of my cloning there. You can go down here and create a layer mask, and it puts the white box next to it, and this is where you can paint on and paint off what you just did. So let's just say I decided, you know what, I kind of like that flag, let me leave it there. Now you can't paint white on white and expect any changes, so make your brush black. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in Clone Stamp. You want to use a paintbrush, sorry. Make it black, so we selected our paintbrush here. You can leave it at 80 or 100%. I usually go down a little bit further and just kind of make sure it looks blended. Make sure your white box is selected. And let's go ahead and paint back on our flag. Now what this is doing is it's just undoing our clone. We're blocking out our change by painting black on this layer mask here. And that's the end of that. Makes it much easier, and we didn't touch the area on the house. So again, before and after with the house, and say if I decided, you know what, maybe it does look better after all without that flag, you can delete this layer mask right here, and boom, flag's gone again. So hopefully that was helpful. Once I'm done with any cloning, I like to do cloning initially. That's usually one of my first steps. And then I flatten my image and I go on with editing however I see fit or however I want to see this image at the end. But I try to do all my clone work first. and then, you know, run any actions that you want to run or changes and levels adjustments on the whole image after that cloning. Hope this helps you. Let me know if you have questions.